What's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy Rojo, Convicts Perspective. We got the big homie Gunner from a Gunners Collective. And then
That's
we're joined by a special guest today, man. You introduce yourself, my man.
What's up, y'all? I'm Wack Deuce from San Diego, California.
That's right. That's right. And Trip out, man. Let me get into the mix, man. See, you know, I was contacted by a mutual acquaintance of ours, and he said, man, you got to get at this cat Wack Deuce, man. This is a real one, live and direct, a real one out of San Diego, the 60s, man, getting his shine on. Crippin' is real. Like I says, it ain't easy, but it's real. So I felt that if for no other reason, just based on my spill today, let me pop at the homeboy. Let's put it out there. Let's find out what a real Crip does out here, man. So, Wack Deuce, let's take it from the beginning, bro. Childhood. How'd you get in the mix, bro? What got you into the Crip? And I mean, you're a white guy, it's obvious. So, hey, in order to be a white guy in the Crip game, man, you have to be really about that business. So, man, let's elaborate a little bit, brother.
So basically, I mean, the area I grew up in, there wasn't too many white families, bro. You know, you could probably count on one hand how many other white kids that I legitimately went to school with and can remember their names, you know what I'm saying? So it was mostly Blacks, Mexicans, Samoans, Asians, you know what I mean? And then the neighborhood I'm from, I've actually had a judge in juvenile court tell my dad, he was like, man, your son is from the most diverse gang I've ever ran across. So just like in your spiel earlier on your story about Crips, how everybody wanted to kind of be like Crips or Bloods after Colors came out. I mean, I got homies, I got Mexican homies from my hood. I got Asian homies from my hood. I got Samoans from my hood, Blacks, you know what I mean? And so there's really like, there was no, like, I can't relate to like skateboarding or going to the beach surfing and shit like that. No disrespect to my white people, because I'll never, you know, you got some dudes that'll deny that they're white because they're like from a Crip gang or a Blood gang or a Hispanic gang or whatever. But I'll tell you straight to your face, yeah, I'm a white boy, homie. I got a Garth Brooks CD in my car right now, you know. Yeah, I've never hid from that fact, you know what I mean? But I grew up the way I grew up, and I function with who I function with, you know what I mean? And I'm proud to, you know what I'm saying? And I'm proud to be who I am, homie, you know what I mean? And I stand on that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's real talk. So another question, bro. So living that gang life out there in San Diego, and I know it's a whole different animal out there in San Diego. I've been to SD a few times, man, out there in Southeast San Diego, that Logan area, Waddy, Logan out there. And so what were your interactions with out there with like, say, Southsiders? Because I mean, I know that San Diego's predominantly Hispanic.
So we probably going to get it's going on Rojo's channel. So Rojo's probably going to get a gang of flack for me saying this. But so my neighborhood, Linda Vista Crip 60s, right? It started off as Insane Family Crip gang back in like the early 70s. Now that was everybody though, bro. That was Mexicans, Filipino, like I said, the whole smorgasbord of races, right? Well, what happened is one of their homies, or a couple of, really one of their homies that I know of for sure, Spanky, went to the pen, and I guess the Southsiders were like, nah, homie, you know, because he went up in there saying he was from Insane Family, and they were like, nah, homie, we don't roll like that. We're Southsiders. We don't deal with them people, you know, blah, 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 blah. So when he paroled from prison, he got out, and he basically went to all his Mexican homies and was like, hey, we don't do that no more, homie. We're going to start our own. So they started Linda Vista Threshay. Now, for the first few years, it was cool. But then a couple incidents happened, and now it's been like all out war, you know what I mean, for like the past 20 years. Plus, we claim North Side, you know what I mean? And so, you know, of course, they got a problem with that, them being Southsiders now. But all their original homies from Linda Vista Threshay, they all used to be Crip.
That's right, man. I hear you. Hey, Rojo, you got some questions, brother?
Yeah, man. So how old were you when you first hit the joint?
18, bro. I got out of juvenile camp on my 18th birthday. 6 months later, I was in the county jail fighting like 40 years. So I hit prison probably, I think in September. Yeah. So like 9 months later, after my 18th birthday, I was on a reception yard at Donovan.
Where did your travels take you throughout the system?
So I've been to Donovan, Tehachapi, CMC, Lancaster, back to Tehachapi, and then I paroled from High Desert.
What was the worst experience for you as far as them places went, man? What was the worst one?
High Desert by far, bro.
Yeah.
And I was at the end. That was basically at the end of my term too, because I got 7 years. I did 7 straight. Of course, I maxed out. But yeah, like back in 2002, a couple of the homies from A-Trade Gangster took off on the police on D-Yard in Lancaster. And so basically the administration got all the Crips up off the yard, hit basically all of us with conspiracy to murder staff, which was bullshit. That was just a ruse to get us up off the yard. And they sent all of us either to High Desert and New Folsom and High Desert. And I was at that time, I was about a year. I was about 2 years to the pad, a little bit under 2 years to the pad, bro. And but they knew what they were doing. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to wait till I'm about to parole to send me to the worst fucking pen in the system? I get it. Fuck it. Let's go. You know what I mean? And for anybody that's ever been to High Desert, they got the sign in R&R right when you walk in. It says, "Welcome to High Drama." You know what I mean? So, you know, with a pair of cowboy boots. So you already know what time it is.
Hey, so one question I'm dying to ask you, man. What was it like dealing with the woods in prison, being a white Crip? Like me being a white NF, it hasn't been too bad because it seems like it's more acceptable.
They don't fuck with y'all, bro. They know what time it is with y'all. It was funny because when me and Gunner talked the other night, man, you know, I told him that, you know, I mentioned that. I was like, bro, you know, because I ran across a few white northern homies, you know what I mean? And the woods never said nothing, bro. They didn't want them problems, bro. But, you know, to be honest, homie, like, so I got into it, I've gotten into it, like, as far as, like major incidents, like 4 times. And then I've had a few one-on-ones. They pushed, I mean, you know what I mean? But the thing I always tell everybody this, I got an older homie, not from my neighborhood, but from, you know, San Diego Crips. We have our own car, you know what I mean? You know, I'm from 60s, he's from 40s. He's a legend, Snow Rock. You know, he went and did it before me. So I kind of give him, you know, he kind of paved the way and he kind of laced me up in how to do it. You know what I mean? Where it's not, you know, I didn't sit back and wait for them to come to me, bro. I would be like, hey, who got the keys for the woods? And I go approach him, you know, basically, you know, it's just like, you know, make him feel uncomfortable. Instead of that, waiting on them to step to me, I'm going to step to him, you know what I mean? And you know, you kind of catch somebody off guard, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like they don't have the chance to react the way they want to react, you know what I mean? And so, you know, and I mean, like I tell people, bro, I'm not the hardest dude by far, you know what I mean? But I also knew that my dad didn't raise no punk. And I had to go home to where I came from, bro, when I paroled. If God let me, you know, if God gave me the opportunity to parole, and I damn sure wasn't gonna go back to somebody no punk. So, but yeah, I mean, it was rough. I wouldn't recommend it for nobody, bro, because every time you come out that cell, you know, man, that could be your last time breathing, bro. So
that's what we try to reiterate that to the youngsters, man, who ain't been to the pen and shit, that man, you think, you know, being a down-ass dude in the streets is one thing. Yeah, no, it is. It's a whole separate animal. But when you hit them 3 and them 4 yards, man, it's not like the streets. There's nowhere to hide. You don't got a pistol. You can't do no drive-by. You can't wait in somebody's bushes. You got to meet them head the hell up. You know what I mean? The best you'll get, you might be able to sneak somebody, but then that makes you look soft. You got to face everything head on, period.
You know, and the thing is like, so, you know, you get a receipt for everything that you do, right? And so, you know, I was always, like, I wouldn't say I'm a paranoid dude, but, you know, it's like, I'm always aware of what's going on, you know what I mean? Like, even before I went to the pen, but then I got super vigilant after being in the county jail and the homies lacing me up, like, look, homie, they coming. They are coming, bro. Like, it's not like oh, well, they might come, you know, if you go to a level 2 or a level 1, they might come. But see, so I had, like I said, I got sentenced for 7 years. I want to say, bro, that when I left the trailer at Donovan, you know, when you go to your counselor, I think I want to say I had 32 points. But within a month, bro, of being at Donovan on the reception yard, you know what I mean? I had been back and forth to the hole 3 times. I probably shot like 4, 115. So my points was damn near already a level 4 by the time I left. Well, it was level 4 by the time I left when they told me this attribute. So, you know, so going to level 1s and level 2s, I've never been on a level 1 or 2. So I didn't know what that was about. So I knew that they were coming, bro. You know what I mean? And they came, bro. And I don't never disrespect the woods. You know, I understand that it was business, bro. You know what I mean? It was never personal. You know what I mean? I mean, it might have been for some of the dudes after a while. You know, you keep setting your torpedoes and I keep wrecking them, bro. And it's like, you got to realize, man, I grew up a while. So I used to get picked on all my life, bro, for being a white boy. You know what I mean? So eventually you're going to turn that into learning how to protect yourself, bro, and do your thing. I'm sure you went through the same thing, bro, you know? And so your squabble game kind of comes up a little bit, bro. So, you know, some of them dudes probably, you know what I mean, hated for that, but bro, I just took it as it was, homie, and knew it was business. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And got a big reprieve. Let me say this though, and got a big reprieve when the NLRs, homie, got when they got snatched up off the yards. Because for that first 2 years, bro, they was giving me a run for my money, bro. I ain't gonna lie, homie. Them NLRs was on me, boy. They was on your boy.
They're pretty dangerous. That's a dangerous faction right there, man. A lot of people sleep on the NLRs. I'm gonna be doing something on them pretty soon, man. Just give them their own thing because I mean they're with that business, you know, a whole different type of business.
I don't like them, but they're with the business.
Yeah, I don't. Hey, bro, I don't like them. Like if somebody was to say, pick one group out that you don't like, I would have to put them up there, bro. Because I mean, they gave me a run for my money. It was like, you know, like I get into it with like, you know, some regular skinheads or whatever, and then it'd be cool. Right? Like I'd go to the hole, get out the hole, everything will be cool for 2 or 3 months. But it seemed like with the NLRs, homie, it was like I squabble with one today, and then I got to squabble with 2 more tomorrow, and then a bus pulls up and there's 3 new ones. So then I got to get out with them 3. Like I used to be like, man, god damn, bro.
Yeah, them guys have a bylaw. I used to know a cat. I did a lot of hold time, and I did a whole time with the cat from NLR, and he used to tell me within their bylaws they have a one of their bylaws that states that they can't function on a yard where there's a white blood. You know, yep. Yeah. So they have no other choice but to handle their business, or at least try to handle their business. You know. Yep. Hey, so a quick question. So let's look at it from the other side. How were the brothers accepting of that? Because I know some do and some don't. How was that?
So check this out. So I said this. I've said this on my channel. I got into more squabbles with my own people, with Crips, than I did with anybody else, bro. Mm-hmm. Whether that was from, I mean, there were some incidents, like my boy Bosco from Broadway, man. Shout out to him. Me and him became hella close. But so one day we on the yard, and I say the N-word, bro. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just a habit. I say it, you know what I mean? And he was like, hey, homie, he was like, hey, watch that word. And I said, what word? He was like, that word, homie. He was like, you a Crip and all that, but you ain't black. And I'm like, man, well, I'm like, man, fuck you, nigga. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh, we got to get down. And so the homie was like, nah, I was about to get off on him right there because, you know what I mean? That's my thing, bro. Hey, I'm getting off, you know what I mean, right then and there because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And the homie like, nah, wait till inline. So we went to the cell and we got down. But we became hella close, you know what I mean? And, you know, and that was just his way of testing me, bro. You know what I mean? So I got into it, like I said, I got into more fisticuffs with other Crips than I did with even the Woods, bro. And I think a lot of that came from, you know what I mean? Like they wanted to see, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, is this white boy down or is he just hiding behind, you know what I mean, the brothers or whatever. I had a couple squabbles with a couple Don Moons, but really, you know how it is in the pen, bro. It really ain't on no gangbanging shit. So the blood and cripping shit, I mean, it happens, you know what I mean, from time to time, you know what I mean? But it was more off of like some personal beef type shit. You know what I'm saying? Felt disrespected or whatever the case may be. But yeah, homie, so like I said, I got into it more with brothers than I did with anybody else.
That's right. So I just dropped a spill today on my channel. Tap into it if you guys haven't tapped into it the other day. It'd be the other day now, Gunners Collective. But about Crips, about Northern Cali Crips. And I kind of went off and elaborated on all Crips from everywhere. Shouted out some real ones from the SOS, San Jose, you know what I mean? CXIV, C-14. Did you ever hear of that movement in the 90s? Because I know it was prevalent when I was in YA. I mean, I was in the mix. I rode hand in hand, fist in fist, back to back with some real ones, you know?
So the first time I heard about that was I was in juvenile hall, and I had caught a case, and they had put me in Unit 1400 and Unit 1000 in juvenile hall were kind of like I guess you could call it high power, where it was dudes that had either been to YA or were going to YA. They had murder cases and you know what I mean, shit like that, right? So I was in the unit, and there was two dudes from Oceanside, Deep Valley Crip, and one of the dudes. So we were on the rec yard playing basketball, and you could it was shirts versus skins, and dude had his shirt off, and he had C-14 on his arm, and I remember one of the Damoons asked him like, "Hey, what's that?" So he was telling everybody like, "Oh, them are, you know what I mean, C-14, homie." He was like, "You'll learn about it when y'all hit the Y," you know what I mean? And so he basically, I remember him talking about it, but then when I really found out about it was a couple of the homies paroled from TS, and they, you know what I mean, and they, you know, they were C-14ers, so that's when I really learned about it.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Rojo.
Hey, man, you know, I was thinking as far as Crips and so on, man, I had a little story I was going to share with you. I've shared it on my channel before. It's real quick. But I was down as an other when I first went to Susanville. The homeboys told me to go down as an other so I could wiggle in case they got put on lockdown. Well, sure,
Right.
a few months later, they find some knives. You know what I'm saying? Homeboys get put on lockdown. I'm wiggling. My celly's a Tongan dude, right?
Man.
I'm wiggling. Serranos are looking at me like, man, thank God it's just you on the yard, white boy. They were looking at me like I was a sandwich, right? Well, anyway, the Crips, I had established a good relationship with the Crips. There was Honcho from Grape Street. There was a dude from Harlem 30s. You know what I mean? And I used to work out with them, you know, because us and the brothers work out in the same area back when we still had weight files, all that. So I'm tripping, bro. I think they're going to get me at any time. Homeboys are on lockdown for like 6 weeks. I'm out there by myself. So after a couple of days, man, every one of them fools that walk by me is just staring at me. I'm like, they're going to get me today. They're going to get me today. Yeah. Well, man, the next morning I come out, there's like 17 Crips in front of my building. And they're like, come on, white folks, we're going to walk with you. And I was like, oh shit, like the Crips looked out for your boy, bro.
Yeah, man.
I thought inevitably within the next couple of days they were just gonna jump me, cut me, whatever the case might be. There wasn't even no tension on the yard, but it's like a free snack. Let's go ahead and take this, you know. But man, the Crips had my back to the fullest, man, in like 93, 94 in Susanville, bro, and I'll never forget that. But it was dope, man. Ever since then, I've been like, man, love me some Crips.
You know, and I was telling Gunner like, man, so. When I started going to, like, when I first caught my first shoot with Tehachapi, there wasn't too many Northerners in there, but there was a couple, and so I started, you know, opening up conversation with them. But then, like I said, when I got up there to high desert and was actually able to like see how y'all program, interact with y'all, you know what I mean, and like I started fucking with the homie Slim from Stockton. His son Bugsy. I still can't remember where Bugsy was from, but they, you know, I used to fuck with Slim every day, man. And he put me up on a lot of game, homie, on like safety and security, like, you know, how to count. You know, I started counting the woods and, you know what I mean, all that shit. You know what I mean, and you know, we actually got into it with him. You know what I'm saying? As quiet as kept. You know, there was a little bit of participation on the north side. You know what I mean? Just to keep it clean, you know what I mean? But that's how it was, man. You know what I'm saying? So I've always had love for y'all, man. Just the way, and I even said it last year, man, when I first started doing this YouTube thing through the homie Mitch. I said, man, I said, if there's some Northanians that get on here and that are real, you know what I'm saying, that are real, I said, man, they're gonna blow the fuck up. And then, man, right here come y'all, right out you, Flacco, and Hunter, you know what I mean? Right, I was like, man, that's what I'm talking about. Because nobody has ever, you only hear it from third party, you know what I'm saying, how it is. So when y'all came on here and blessed everybody with what y'all, you know what I'm saying, what y'all bless us with, I mean, you know what I'm saying, that shit's interesting as hell, you know what I'm saying? And that's me even being an ex-convict myself, bro, just to hear the inner workings, homie. I mean, that shit is, damn, you know what I mean? I mean, that shit's hella interesting, bro.
Hey, you got to figure, man, we really only say about 10% of what's,
I'm already going.
you know, they're like, even in our position now, there's still shit we just
can't talk about it.
Put a squash on it, you know what I'm saying?
Got to,
it's a trip, man. You know, you've been on the 4 yards. You know, them politics are crazy. So you know how ours are. They're insane, man. Bro. Insane.
No, hey, I was telling Gunner, I was like, man, the homie Slim was at my door one day, bro. And this is a 180, this is C upper high desert. And the door, like I was in cell 135, so the door to B pod opened up and the police were coming in to do, I think, close B count. And he was in mid-sentence, bro, and he just stopped talking. And I'm like looking at him, right? And I'm thinking this nigga like having a stroke or something, like. And then so when he finally when the police get done and he leave the section, I'm like, man, bro, what happened? Homie, you all right? And he was like, bro, we don't talk when the police on the floor, bro. I'm like, oh, okay. And he was like, yeah. He probably gave not even 10%. He gave me 5% of y'all game, probably. You know what I mean? But just, the seriousness, just the, how you guys tie everything together and make sure that, you know what I mean, everything is tied up and all that. I mean, bro, that's inspirational to people, bro, especially somebody in my position that knows, like, hey, bro, like, I'm literally the most hated motherfucker on the yard, bro. You know what I mean? You got homies that hate me because they don't want to fuck off their canteen. They don't want to get into a riot, either because they're fucking punks or they're whatever. You know what I mean? The white boys definitely hate me. You know what I'm saying? The Southsiders, they probably hate me. The Northerners probably could give a fuck less, but it's like, you know what I mean? Whatever. So, and definitely the staff hate me. You know what I mean? So to see y'all do what y'all do, and y'all are always up against it because you guys are so short. Homie, I use that, you know what I'm saying? I use every bit of information that I got from the homie to my advantage, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So the staff in High Desert hated you because when I was in Susanville, you know, right? Because when I was in Susanville, this is how old I am. High Desert wasn't even there yet. You know what I'm saying? So they couldn't stand me, bro. Oh, they looked at me like I was a race trader, just like the white boys.
Yeah, hey, Sergeant Nelson to this day, I don't know if that punk motherfucker's there or not still, but fuck him, homie. If I ever seen him on the street, homie, I need that fade, bro. But he had a swastika, bro, and would show it to you, bro. Would show it to you on my mama, bro.
They're different out there, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, listen, homie. When I tell people that's the White House, bro, that's the White House. I know about now because, like I said, I gave my K number back in 2008. But I'm telling you, in the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, this is what I say too, and you guys can expand on this too, is that, everybody heard about Pelican Bay, right? But people don't realize after that big ass riot in 2000, Pelican Bay went on modified program. So if you got sent to Pelican Bay, it really wasn't rocking and rolling like that because it was on modified program. So what they did was they sent all the assholes to High Desert. Mm-hmm. So High Desert was the crack in his pen in Cali for a while, you know what I mean? Until they opened up like Kern Valley and all that. You know what I mean? But that's why I used to tell motherfuckers like, man, yeah, I heard Pelican Bay. I said, look, bro, Pelican Bay is locked down, bro. They're on modified program. You're not going to see a Southsider on the yard with a black. You're not going to see a Southsider on the yard with a Northerner. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, Yeah, fuck high desert, bro. That shit. Hey, I literally, when I got home that night, it took me like 13 hours to get home. My uncle and my cousin came and picked me up and drove back to San Diego. Like, I got out of the car, went up in the house, man. I hugged my dad. Boy, I was crying like a baby, dog. Like, I was just like, man, you know what I
Glad
mean?
you made it out of there, man. Shit. Yeah.
On everything I love, bro. And I ain't ashamed to say it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, some of these places ain't no joke, man. And that's why me and Gunner are here to try to explain to people. Like, hey, without going in any details, how many people got stuck while you were in high desert?
Oh, here, I'll do this.
Look, you notice the viewers, he didn't just say one or two. Look, he's
more people got stuck in high desert in my 22 months there than I seen in my whole term. Easily. By one race, bro. By one race. Now, if you put all the races together, man, that shit's outlandish, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my brother was actually there on B Yard. He did about 6 years there, and he told me that the Northerners had a policy there where they're gonna put 100 holes in you. 100 holes in you.
Hey, no, hey, on everything I love, hey, man, I remember Slim was like, hey, first time man, it fucks me up today to even think about it still. But look, Slim was like, hey, we're gonna go to town at Yard on one of ours. I was like, okay, cool. Now I didn't see that before, you know what I mean? So, you know, and but man, hey, look, man, they did that dude. So like, I don't know what that did. I don't know why he was bad. You know what I mean? None of my business. I don't care. You know, but I felt bad for the dude. Bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like you said, you know, a couple slices on the cheek, and then, you know what I mean, couple pokes. Nah, homie, they went to town on him, homie. And it was like I was like, oh wait. But every time that they moved like that, yeah, bro, it wasn't no just, oh yeah, here, go take this to the MTA. Nah, homie, take this to the coroner's office.
Oh yeah, off the top. So with all that prison behind you, man, and where do you find yourself out now? Are you still within the gang structure, or are you doing your family thing, or where are you at now in life, bro? Let's take it there.
Hey, bro, I'm 42 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took me into my 30s to get away from, I don't even like saying getting away from the hood, as more as just wisening up as an individual and knowing that there's limits on what you should do, what you can and can't do, as far as like, bro, I'm not gonna hug the block anymore, bro, at 42 years old.
That's right.
I'm not gonna hang out at the rec center with a bunch of fucking young punks at 42 years old. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong, like, I'm in Washington now, but when I do go to San Diego, I'll pull up on a couple of the homies, you know what I mean, and drink a beer and barbecue or something, or, you know, certain times of the year, the homies will get together and go to the beach or something and rent some jet skis. And, you know, but, you know, you got your wife, you know, people got their wives and their kids out there. And now, you know, now our kids are hanging out, and some of our kids are knuckleheads, and they're starting to follow the same path. And it's kind of like, man, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to see that shit. You know what I mean? Because we all know where it ends up at, man. You know.
Hey, so since you paroled from High Desert, you ain't been back, huh?
I went on a 10-month violation. Now, trip this. So I got a 10-month violation for absconding, and then I got when they caught me, I was with my homeboys, so they gave me a 10 flat for being with another gang member. This was 05. They literally kept me at Donovan, bro, my whole 10 months. They wouldn't let me go out to the reception yard. And it was funny because one of the associate wardens from High Desert had, during the time that I was out paroling and doing my thing, he ended up being moved from High Desert to Donovan. So when I went to ICC at Donovan during my violation, he recognized me, and he was like, hell no, you're not going to my main line here. He was like, you know, we went on an 18-month lockdown because of you in high desert. Like, you know, so we ended up getting into it with the woods and shit. But, you know, yeah, so I ended up doing my whole 10-month violation at Donovan. And after that, I said, you know what? Fuck this shit. Because that 10-month violation, Rojo, I bullshit you not, bro. That seemed like 10 times longer than them 7 years. Because I knew I wasn't supposed to be back, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you didn't learn your lesson already? And then after I paroled for my 10-month violation, I lost my pops like 8 months later. And so that was kind of like, you know, I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not doing this shit no more. You know what I mean? And so.
Hey, I got one question, bro, that I almost forgot to ask you, man. Have you ever been in any prison line with a white blood?
Yep. One.
I've never seen one, man.
The homie B down from 2Ps and from Corner Pyru. Down. You know what I'm saying?
He was with it.
Yeah, he was with it, bro. Now, so there's been several. I don't know about now. Like I hear a gang of new white Crip names now. But back then, when I was going to the pen, it was like 5 or 6 of us that either we knew each other or we knew of each other, and the homies, you know what I mean, and the blacks, you know what I'm saying, for the most part knew, you know what I mean, or had heard of us individually. And I know I'm gonna end up doing a story on my thing. YouTube, the YouTube thing really ain't my thing, man. I only did it because I told the homie, if we hit 10,000 subscribers, I'd make a channel. But anyways, there's a white Crip. It's on YouTube. Somebody did like a brief snippet of it. But the homie Goldie from Compton, he's on death row now. He's been on death row for like 20 years. But he paroled. I had met him in prison. And I remember he used to always say, like, yeah, cuz I'll be back. And I used to be like, why do you say that, bro? Like, you want to come back to this bullshit? You know, but that's just how he was. And sure enough, he came back with the death penalty. You know what I mean? And, you know, of course, he didn't come back to Tehachapi. He went straight to San Quentin. But, yeah, there's you know, I want to do a story on him. But he was like one of the legit, you know, certified ones. But then I ran across like 4 or 5 other ones, you know what I'm saying? They were white Crips. And as soon as the white boys pressed them on the yard, they were gone. I got to go. You know what I mean? So it's like, nah, yeah, you know what I mean?
Hey, you know what I seen one time? You know, I find it interesting when, you know, me and you and others like us roll with a different group, man. I want to know their experience, man, because it's a whole different experience. I met a white Kumi.
I've heard about that.
White Mike.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ended up being all bad with his people years later, but at the time, he was cool as shit, bro. I couldn't believe it because I wouldn't think that, you know, the politics would allow that. But hey, if you're with the shit, you're with the shit, and people are gonna respect you. You know what I mean? Or they're gonna learn to respect you or ignore you. One of the two.
One of the two.
White boys didn't like me when I was like 18 and 19 in the county because I come from Cocoa County. That's an extremely large white boy, you know. Man. There's a lot more Northerners now, but man, when I first came up, man, I was an original, bro. They used to look at me like, man, we'll kill you. Nah, come in the cell, I'll show you you ain't. You know what I mean? And I had to earn mine, you know what I mean? But as time has gone on, man, and time has changed, man, even the white boys, they don't really care deep down inside. Like you said, it's just business. There's a handful of them, you know, that are really with that, you know, you're a race traitor kind of thing. But other than that, I bet you 70, 80% of them white boys, they don't really give a damn on the streets. They wouldn't say nothing. They'd be like, oh, what's up, man? We was in high desert, baby. How you doing? Man, sorry, I never talked to you, bro. This and that. Whoop-de-whoop. Times have changed, bro. You know, just like all these new S and Y gangs and all the shit, it's a different era, bro. It's a whole
most definitely, and I've said this on my channel too, is that I'm not gonna say his name because I don't know his status, you know what I mean? But he's he was up there in the brand, you know what I mean? And I usually don't say prison gang names, but since we're chopping it up, you know, I had a next door neighbor in Tehachapi in the shoe, and you know, he's kind of up there in that organization. And we became cool, you know what I mean? And I remember he told me one day, he said, hey, bro, he said, it's not, you know, we don't want to get you because you're a white Crip. We want to get you because we lost a soldier. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, cool. You know what I mean? I understand. And you know, I know what it, you know what I'm saying. I know what it's like. You know, like I don't know how many times, like I'd be working in the kitchen or something, in the scullery or something, and you know what I mean, and working with a white dude, and you know what I mean, we'd be chopping it up, and he'd be like, man, you know what I mean, I wish I could bump that music. That's the music I listen to on the streets, and you know what I mean, and you know, and I used to just say to him, well, do it, homie. Fuck it. You know what I mean? What are they gonna do to you? Stab you, bro?
They're trying to borrow CDs on the down low and shit. Hey man, can I get that new Scarface CD you got, baby?
Yeah, bro. Hey, make sure
Don't tell nobody.
back, homie. You know what I mean? And but yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and it's like the day I paroled, so when I paroled from Hot Desert, we had been on lockdown for 11 straight months because we got into it with the Woods, right? And I remember asking my celly, which he was my homeboy from my neighborhood, I said, hey bro, so what's gonna happen when I get to R&R? And what if there's like, you know, skinheads that are paroling with me? I'm like, you know what I mean? Do I gotta get off on these fools or what? And he was like, no, he said, man, them motherfuckers go, man. And sure enough, bro, there was 2 of them that paroled. One from my building, I think in A section. We were in B section. I think he was in A section in building 5. And then there was another one from like building 4 or building 6, I think. And sure enough, homie, so I'm getting there putting my dress outs on and shit. I see these 2 motherfuckers walk up in there. I'm like, oh shit. And the one's like, hey, what's up, Wack? You're paroling too, dog? And I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? And I was being like, you know, so now I'm like on point, right? Like, okay, you know, I gotta watch this motherfucker. So I had bought a cigarette and some matches and shit. And I lit me a cigarette right there in the, you know what I mean, in R&R in the holding tank. And the motherfucker asked to hit my motherfucking cigarette, bro. So you feel me? I'm like, wow. It just shows you that, like, once you step out that door, all
His
that
business.
shit,
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that business started back in the 50s and 60s, and that's still the business nowadays. Hey, so we only got 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Gunner, Deuce, anything you guys want to close with? Gun, Deuce, either one. Hey, plug your channel before we go too, sir.
Yeah, hey, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you taking the time, jumping on the platform. You're a real one. And man, I knew it from the gate. Go ahead, man. Plug your channel in, brother.
No, it's Wack Deuce against the grain, man. But hey, man, fuck all that. But look, hey, y'all some real ones, man. I appreciate the content that y'all put out. You know what I mean? You guys got something going that'll really catch on, man, and you guys can do some big things. Look,
thank you, brother.
Just my opinion. There ain't been no real movies about California prisons other than American Me, but they fucked that up a lot too. I think that y'all, man, y'all on the right track. Y'all could really make a legitimate movie that people
We're actually working on that, my man. We're working on that as we speak. Hey, I want to wrap this up though, so it doesn't cut you off. Hey, much love, Wack Deuce, man. Hopefully we can do this again because I know you got a lot more for us. Big Gun, Rojo, Convicts Perspective, Gunners Collective, the homeboy Wack Deuce.
Peace.
We're out.
Oh.